Hi there, this video is going to show you about Facebook's rooms. They're Facebook Messenger rooms, and we'll walk through how to do this, how to create a room through the browser version of your Facebook. So they've pretty much created the room segment and how you can create a room right above the stories lineup and right below where you would create a new post. You can actually see that the stories lineup is a bit similarly formatted to creating rooms or existing rooms. They're kind of tall, rounded rectangles. Essentially, you can create a room through two means. You can either create a new post where you click on create a room. It's very much like if you're adding a photo or video or creating a watch party. It's just an added component or feature you can create in a post. So once you create a room through a new post, you can select what type of room activity you'd like to designate this as. So it's got a ton of different options, mostly casual. You can see it kind of gives people the reason of the room so that they can get into it and figure out what the purpose is. And you can select whatever you'd like. For this purpose, I'm going to select trying rooms. Who to invite. When you're creating a room from your profile, you have two options. One is that you can click on friends, which means you can invite all of your friends in Facebook, or you can invite specific friends, which means you can isolate a few friends you'd like to welcome into the room. For this purpose, I'm going to select all friends, and then I'm also going to, I'm going to start it now, but you can give it a start time or date if you want to set this for a future time to start. So just select the time or date, or you can just decide, hey, I'm going to keep it to now, which is what I'm going to do for this purpose, and go ahead and save your settings. And it looks like you've got everything set, so you can save that. You also have the option now to send a message to any friends, whether you've invited them or not, saying, hey, I'm starting a Zoom, or starting a room, and you're going to go ahead and invite them. For this purpose, I'm going to not do that since I'm inviting all my friends on Facebook to this room. So it is just an option you can have to add more people or let them know this is happening. You click done. And then I do recommend you put something in the copy of your text that indicates what the room is for. Since I'm trying or testing this out today, I will want to let people know, hey, if you come into this, just know that I'm recording and that you're going to be part of that recording. So that's obviously what I'm going to put in the copy. But you can put whatever you want. It should give people an idea of what they're going to encounter when they come into the room, which should support, again, what type of room you decided to go with. So as you finish typing the post, and then you obviously have your audience. I'm setting it to friends since I am only inviting my friends. If you set it to public, chances are not all of those people seeing it will be able to come into the room. So you don't want to create dead space for where they might go. Now you have the option to go ahead and post and let people see what you're going to have with your room. So let's click post. So since this is a messenger app or a feature, it's basically going to create this in Messenger. To get into your own room, you have to click on the link that your post created, and now you can join into the room as yourself. So we're going to see it is essentially a video and voice chat. As we walk in here, you can see that I've got my video showing. I could share my screen if I want. If you hover your mouse on the bottom, you'll see that you have some options. And now you're going to start seeing some of my friends are actually joining, which is really great that they were able to entertain my testing of this and willingness to be on video. So I did alert them all that chances are they're going to be in my YouTube channel. You can't hear them because we were having some audio difficulties with my microphone when we were doing this. Nothing related to the rooms. But this is how the layout is. You can see the bottom individual, they're joining from a mobile phone, as is indicated by their kind of vertical setup there. The person on the top is joining from their desktop, so they have a bit of a wider or landscape orientation to their camera. But as you follow my cursor too, you can see as I move it, my options appear. So anytime you move your mouse, you'll see your own options and controls really within the room of what you're able to change and customize. If you click on the dots next to someone, you can view their profile. You can privately message them, or you could choose to remove them if you decide you want to boot them from your room. Not sure if they would not be able to come back in, but you can actually take them out. You also can share your screen. This is a very traditional way of sharing your screen via Chrome browser at least, but you have some options to share your entire screen, maybe a specific application window or a Chrome tab. And as you can see, the sharing of the screen works just perfectly. You can see along the top, it gives you the option for when you'd like to stop sharing your screen. That is a little different interface than I've seen on other applications. Usually it's along the bottom, but they keep it right at the top. So I stopped sharing my screen, and now I'm just kind of in my room. I can click on the participants, and this is where you can lock your room. You can see who's all in your room. You can choose to remove anyone from this panel. If you do choose to lock the room, that means nobody else can enter. Even if you invited all of your friends or invited specific people, if you decide you'd like to stop anyone else from joining, you can just click lock and it will prevent anyone else from joining that room. You also have the option at the bottom to copy the link to the room and get that out to some other people as well if you want. And we just saw another friend join in. So remember, as my friends saw the post, they got a push notification that I started a room and they can join it. That is one kind of nice thing about it, is it does do push notifications, letting people see that there is a room to be joined. Plus, of course, it's going to appear along the top of their Facebook feed. So, and obviously with this being a virtual room, you are dependent on people's internet speeds. Person who's joining by mobile, she might have a little bit of a spotty connection, but it really is based on people's bandwidth and their internet speeds and how they can go ahead and join. But those are the options you have. You don't have a ton of options as far as you're not able to mute any of your participants. You can't kick them off video yourself. It is really entirely up to them. If they want to do that. So you have some minimal controls. If you look at the top right too, apparently via mobile, when you join the rooms, you do have some filter options or lenses you can do. So I have the option to turn off my video, which I just did. I can mute myself as well. Up on the top right, there are some options you can select too. There's a gallery or speaker view. If you do gallery view, that's going to show you what you're seeing with a spread of everyone's thumbnails or visuals. If you do speaker view, you're just going to see who is actually the audible person at that moment. And then settings, this really boils down to your own settings. Your camera, your microphone, the audio input, and you can test it, and also how you're listening to what's happening in the room. Plus, you can see a slew of keyboard shortcuts below in case you don't want to have to click around. It gives you some ways you can toggle some things on and off. But it is a little bit limited. That's pretty much the extent of the controls you have with this room. You cannot record. You also can't seem to end the room. So in a moment, I'm going to be actually hopping out of this room, as you'll see on the video, and I will probably not. And the whole test of that was to see is if I left the room, would the room end? And the answer to that is no. As it stands right now, once you create a room, you don't have to be in it, and you leaving it doesn't make it end. I will be doing a video too just about what the experience is like with this with mobile, because as you can see on the top right, she's got some options with filters and lenses that the rest of us on desktop do not have. So likelihood again is there may be some more mobile capabilities on this than there would be. So I'm going to leave the room right now. So I'm going to click on that red button to hang up, and I'm just letting everybody in the room know they'll to hang out and stay there, because I want to test and see if I can come back in and see if this will actually work. So I will wind up leaving the room in just a couple moments. And we're going to click it. Now I'm out of the room. I'm still in that Messenger tab where I can rate my experience, and I'm sure that Facebook would like us to do that. To get back to Facebook, I click on the Facebook tab. And now I'm back, and look, I can still see the post is active. The room is happening now, and I'm clicking join room. Once again, it's opening a separate Messenger tab. I'm joining as myself, and then back just as if nothing else changed. It also looks like our friend on mobile can change her backgrounds too. So again, a few more options on mobile than there might be on desktop. But point being, the room didn't go away. The person who created the room, just by virtue of leaving, does not end the room. You simply leave it. We did find out as well that even once all of us leave the room still exists. So right now we're all leaving the room in just a moment, and the room doesn't go anywhere. It actually is still out there and people can still join it, which is a really interesting aspect that is very different from, say, Zoom or other options where you can record the room, you can end a room, you can leave it and leave it going, but you always have the option to end it as well. That is not an option in Facebook rooms. So what happens is it seems to be that if you create the room goes on. So you'll see I'm recording my screen. All of us have left the room. It still indicates it's happening now. So what I wind up doing is here I'm going to delete the room, or delete the post rather, that created the room. The room actually is still going. And I know that because someone messaged me a few minutes after I deleted this post. They were trying to get in the room and I was able to re-enter it. So please be aware that a room does not go away even if you delete the post that created it. So hopefully this was a good walkthrough for you to create your own room. And again, I can go back to some of the prior tabs where the room was created. But go ahead and try it out. See if you like it. Again, I think it's a cool feature. Not sure if it's terribly practical, particularly since you cannot end a room. But hopefully you found this video interesting and helpful. Please subscribe and let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.